After a lot of questions on why it was taking so long, President Donald Trump actually signed the Epstein Files Transparency Act, a law that forces the Department of Justice to release a large trove of records related to Jeffrey Epstein's within 30 days of signing. The signing did not happen in public. It was done late at night, well, cameras around in the White House office. The president did not appear to show very much other than saying on Truth Social that he actually signed the bill. The new law applies to all unclassified Justice Department records related to Epstein, including materials on the sex trafficking crimes, his 2019 jailhouse death, and prosecution of his associate, Miss Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, the bill's journey through Congress was a fast and unusually bipartisan thing. Once it happened, after months of resistance from Trump and Republican leaders, House passed it 427-1, with only one vote being against that, being Representative Clay Higgins. I think that number's wrong. We'll check on the robot editor in a second. But the Louisiana Republican representative said no, basically said he was going to say no regardless. So not a unanimous thing from the House. And the Senate basically cleared it by waving their hands with unanimous consent. No vote needed. And then written up, sent to the president's office the day after he had a nice little dinner with MBS. That's a whole other thing we talked about yesterday. Now, lawmakers in both parties described the legislation as response to intense pressure from the public for transparency and for the years of lobbying by the Epstein survivors wanting all this stuff out there now, or at least years ago, but now is the time. The act was originally pushed forward by a discharge petition, but a rare move to basically make it work out. But since everyone basically said we want this, the president just signs the bill and it goes to law, just like that, just like it did. Now, Trump could have not signed it, but essentially it was, essentially 500-1. It was essentially veto proof and going forward. Here's where things get interesting. The law orders the Justice Department to release what many outlets describe as a huge digital archive, informally known as the Epstein Files. The DOJ and FBI review early this year said that they collected more than 300 gigabytes of data and physical evidence, including emails, financial records, flight logs, photo videos, and other materials from Epstein's properties and devices. But under the new act, most unclassified records must be posted online in a searchable, downloadable format within 30 days. We literally get to see everything we want to online. The department can still redact the identities of victims, which it should if it's a case where it would be, and remove information that could harm ongoing investigations, which it should if they were ongoing investigations, and withhold classified materials, which is where things are weird because what exactly does Epstein have that's classified? Even though it's barred from hiding information from the general public that's embarrassing or politically sensitive, there are things that may be in there that could be, national security. Maybe. Trump has tried to frame the release as politically risky for Democrats, claiming that all of Epstein's friends were Democrats and suggesting that documents will damage his opponents more than his own party. In recent days, he has continued to call the broader controversy a Democrat hoax. Hoax is used a lot, while insisting that nothing to do with Epstein on his part, despite past reporting the two were so closer friends. And of course, he said he had to kick him out of Mar-a-Lago for being a creep. You can read into that whatever you want to. Now, at the time, Trump had campaigned on promises to release all the Epstein files, then resisted doing so once he got in office, only to reverse himself again as bipartisan support for the bill came unstoppable. The off-camera signing and his shifting of explanations have led to many to analyze what's exactly going on and see a decision as driven more by political pressure, basically a change in strategy, not a change of heart going forward. And the whole transparency thing, which seems to be issues back and forth, depending on how transparent and what the actual action is by the administration. Now, victim advocates and transparency groups are calling the law a major step towards fuller public accounting and Epstein's crimes and powerful connections that are there. They argue that forcing the government to release the records rather than relying on selected leaks and partial court disclosures could answer long-standing questions and reduce some of the speculation. But there are critics of the action that say even with large victim redactions, releasing such a large body of material could actually expose innocent people mentioned in passing or in unproven allegations, and concern that highlights that the lone no vote in the House was there, essentially was why it was posted there, just so you remind you of that one. Others actually point out to loopholes around ongoing investigations and national security as possible tools for Justice Department to just not actually give the files out there, to just say, we're not going to talk about this when it's something that may not be as bad to say, or in this case, maybe something that is very bad to say. It may actually put some light, shed light on other people's actions, but would actually answer some questions. We will see in 29 days or so what gets put online in this trove of information and what does not, because we don't really know what the not will be until we start going through what the is actually is.